Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Today, before we wrap up the month of May, we must, as always, do our Q&A. You know the deal. Riddle logo pops up. You drop your questions down below, and we just answer them the order they came in. We have quite the grab bag today. We're talking about what if the Citi double cash moved up to the triple cash. We're talking about churning banks. We're talking about is there inflation and how that could affect rewards points. All that and more. So, of course, we go long here. Chapter stools down below so you can bounce around as your heart desires. All without further ado, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. So we bat lead off. You know him well. He's famous or infamous around here, Mr. Grabbag himself, with quite a few questions after he said last time he didn't have that many questions. So I guess we're going to have to work as I'm taping this on a holiday weekend, so why not? So he bats lead off with Citi triple cash. What if? Like the double cash, but triple. That's exactly how the corporate meeting would go. Everything would stay the same on the Citi card, but earn triple rather than double. How would that compete with all other cards at this point in time? Would you get it? How would this make Citi? I mean, when you write it like that, yeah, it would be totally fine. It wouldn't, yes, if they move from 2 to 3 on a free product with no deposit requirements or anything like that, yes, I would get it. Yes, it would blow everyone else out of the water. The only other close competitor is Robinhood Gold, and they won't let anybody in right now. You don't know how to get in, and plus they still require the Robinhood Gold membership. This will obviously never happen. There's no need for it to happen. We just saw U.S. Bank try and fail miserably. SoFi couldn't manage 2.2 for a long time. Bank of America's changed. So no, I mean, I already think Citi is like top 2. I think Citi and Wells Fargo are up there over everybody else right now for a core card product. So yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to add. Yes, if they made a triple cash card, that would be amazing. Everyone should get it. I don't think it would ever happen. I'm positive it would never happen. But yes, it would be fantastic, and they would destroy everyone else's ecosystem, and it would not be close, especially considering the custom caches and the Citi Strata Premier is pretty good as well. Yeah, it would be game over. All right, next, got approved for Wells Fargo autograph on May 5th. Well, congratulations. I've been thinking you should get the Strata Premier, speak of the devil. Over this, I already have 3 custom cash cards and double cash, but couldn't justify the Strata Premier annual fee, so I chose the autograph, a regular one. As you always said, it's close to the Premier. I think it is close. Very similar to the Visa Signature versus World Elite. So I think you're just giving me an update or something, but yes. I think if you're going to keep the card long term, I think the autograph for free is pretty similar to the Strata, especially considering you have so many custom cash cards now. Whatever you're missing on the Strata, you could just make up with a custom cash, and you've got the autograph for free. The only real problem comes into if you wanted travel points. If you're like American, then by all means go Citi. If you're more doing the cash back thing, which you probably are from these type of cards, then it doesn't matter because cash is a universal currency. I have the autograph myself, so I like it. If I wanted the active cash, that's Wells Fargo's 2% card, how long should I wait to apply for it after I already have been approved for an autograph? Anyone in that case who wanted the autograph. Last time I checked, Wells Fargo is you can only have an intro offer every 6 months. I've seen folks report that they get them, they've gotten through sooner than 6 months, but I don't think it's folks who have as many cards as we normally do and taking many shots as that. So I would say you're definitely on the bench for 6 months. Minimum before you go out to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is also very sensitive these days. So, I mean, if you really, really want that card next for whatever reason, then you're probably going to have to take some time off and get some distance between your approvals. I think they're a 524 bank as well. I don't know 100% for sure. I don't think anyone knows 100% for sure. But all that to say, minimum 6 months because of their rules. And then it could be longer just depending on how banged up your report is from new accounts and inquiries. It took me quite a while to be able to get approved for the autograph journey, and even then, all they did was reallocate credit limit to the autograph to the journey. I think I had to get under 524 and let some inquiries fall off to be sure. Our autograph and autograph journey the same weight? I don't have a scale. I have both of them again, as I said. They feel very similar to me. If you really want to know, I mean, if we can do it live on air, I guess. Yeah, I mean, let's turn them around. They feel the exact same weight. They look the exact same thinness. So I'm going to say, yes, they're, yeah, maybe, no, I think they're the same. The journey maybe feels a little bit heavier, but not by much. I think it's just in my head. I would say they are the same type of material, same metal-like consistency, if you will. Not much different. It's not like the platinum card where it's like a sizable piece of metal or anything like that. All right. I've heard some people keep the Freedom Unlimited because of the Hyatt transfer. That's probably the reason why to Sapphire Ink Preferred, even though it earns 1.5. Basically, the question is why. Yes, I think you're right. I mean, that's the main thing in this community, propping the face up, is folks' love of Hyatt. And obviously, if you want United or Southwest, but it's mainly Hyatt's the one, because Hyatt points have been hard to get, I guess. I don't really know what the love of Hyatt is. I think I've stated a few of them, and when I did, I remember, this was a few years ago, but it felt nicer for the redemption and category level than I would have gotten at that type of Marriott or Hilton. Now, this was so long ago, I don't remember what category or how much I paid for it, but it felt like their category, there was a lower category, but it felt better than, maybe a 2 or 3 level above Marriott to me. But people generally do love Hyatt. I think Hyatt has done a good job, depending on where you land. Hyatt's done a decent job of protecting their status. They don't sell it, even though people want them to. So getting it and having that top status probably gets you more. You run into maybe less issues because it's not just selling diamond or selling titanium or platinum or whatever it is. That will be it. American Airlines is probably, American, it was just, again, they were kind of protecting their points. They had credit cards, but you're still limited to how many points you can earn. So once Citi has American, it really opens up how easily you can earn American points. Now, I would have going to assume that eventually at some point American will adjust their points program to protect against the mass influx of American points they're going to see. But I think they were American. The big thing there was they were just the last major chain to, yes, have a credit card partner and a loyalty program, but not fully in it. I mean, you can't walk down the Delta terminal without someone trying to sell you a Delta card, which is a little bit similar, but of course, obviously, you can get other American Express cards and transfer over to Delta, as well as where American Airlines is. Yeah, you could get their card, but how many, it's still going to be pretty tough to earn a significant amount of American points on spend. Now you've got all these intro offers, so even the Strata Elite isn't a good card, but that you could look at it as 80,000 American points if you wanted to, which I don't know the valuation, but I think that's part of it. Continuing on here, it seems like the Quicksilver on the Discover Network will be earning the bonus categories versus the Visa MasterCard Quicksilver. I have no idea. I haven't heard that. I saw the Discover had a new intro offer for their cashback credit cards, like a $200 intro offer plus like a full cashback match in the first year, but I didn't know they were going to plan that. That'd be interesting to split them. So yeah, I haven't heard that. Opinion on the PNC Cash Unlimited card. It's one of the few credit cards I think of 2% cashback and no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion about it. It's a 2% card. If you need, I don't know off the top of my head how many no foreign transaction fee 2% cards there are. If that suits your needs, and so be it, you're going to have to deal with PNC. The problem with that one is I don't even think you can apply for a PNC card not being a customer. You'd have to become a customer, open a deposit account, and then you can apply for it. It means it's probably not worth the hassle unless you really need that. I think you said the Fidelity Rewards Visa signatures are also probably easier to get, less annoying to deal with. So I'd probably lean that one. I don't have a problem. I've never had the PNC. I never looked too much into it because there's no intro offer for it. So it's never really hit the radar. Plus, again, it's annoying to get. So you'd have to time out your churn at PNC with an application. They are super picky as well. So you'd be burning a slot in an inquiry for no intro offer. So for that, I would just lean, if you absolutely positively needed one, probably just Fidelity. I would say, because at least there's a $150 intro offer right now, I want to say. How would you rate my wallet setup? I mean, Discover card with 5% rotating categories, Chase Freedom Flex, Saver, and Quicksilver both, World Elites. 3 Citi custom cash cards, Citi double cash, Kroger. If you've got the double cash, I don't know that you need to waste an inquiry on the active cash. Kroger World Elite, that's a good one. All cash back, no annual fee, and 5 card setup. I think you have most things covered here. You got a lot of optionality with the custom cash cards. I like that the Kroger card is another 5%. That could basically be your primary catch-all from 5% mobile wallets. It's good. You've got your 2%. I would say your next move, instead of going to get the active cash, like the active cash doesn't do anything for you unless you really just want to get rid of your double cash and move it into a fourth custom cash. But at some point we'll run into like, what are you going to do with all these custom caches? The point being, I would maybe consider something like the AAA Daily Advantage. You could do something like that to get your 5% groceries. So I think the thing I would do is look at these Freedom cards and Discover cards and see what you're doing with those. What categories are you hoping for? And then try to solidify those by getting a card that's dedicated to that. So like the AAA card comes to me. Like that would be, in my mind, a better pickup than going after an active cash, right? And free up, something like that. Or the Travel Advantage and free up a custom cash from gas, perhaps. I think your next step up is either chasing large intro offers with the active cash isn't, or going through and seeing how you can solidify your setup a little bit more, gold-plated, get away from relying on rotating category cards, which are nice, but it's hit or miss what they get. So that would be mine. But overall, I think this is a very fine start, a really solid collection here, especially with all those Citi cards, considering that Citi is getting tougher sometimes. Should I keep my Quicksilver now that I have 2% card, or should I possibly wait until my Quicksilver card becomes on Discover Network? I don't know these the 3% bonus categories. I wouldn't worry about like canceling it or anything. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't know if it's going to be super useful to you. You've got the 2% card, which is fine. I would imagine your custom cash cards probably cover off both of those because it was going to be like gas and dining or something was going to be on the Quicksilver card. So you're probably covered off, I would say. So you probably won't find a use for the Quicksilver. If you don't do anything with groceries, they're kind of weird with product changes. You might flip it to a saver, I guess. But I don't think you're going to have a use for it. So if you wanted to kill it, you definitely could. What did you say? Is it about 3 years old as well if this plays effect? I think you've got enough cards, and the history stays on your credit report for like 7 years. So closing it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's a free product, and you're probably done at Capital One anyway, so I don't think it hurts to just leave it. I would probably just leave it, but I think it's fine if you want to get rid of it because I don't think it's going to be super helpful. What's your opinion on the Chase Amazon Prime Visa card? I do have that card. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorites. Probably my favorite Chase card. The weird thing is I don't use it that much since we do so many Amazon reloads on the second channel to satisfy gift card spend. I use a lot of those Refer Live gift cards they send you. I just load into my Amazon account. So as a result, I don't use it as much as I thought I was going to, but I do like the card. I have Prime, so if you're a big Amazon person, you don't find yourself ending up with a lot of Amazon reloads, I would recommend that card to most anyone. He says happy 5/24, which is technically tomorrow. I'm taping this on the 23rd. So either way, yes, happy 5/24. It's a weird thing to celebrate, but we'll say happy 5/24. So there you go, grab bag. You got the first 13 minutes of the show all to yourself. I hope that's enough to get you through the weekend. As always, thank you, sir. All right, 50 grand here, another long one, but I think it's just one long one. So trying to find out how to determine if I cancel one of my Amex credit cards in order to get approved for the Amex Business Blue Business Plus, if canceling a credit card will negatively impact my credit score. So he gives us his vitals. FICO 800, total of 9 Amex cards, 3 charge cards. One is a business green, 6 Amex credit cards. So yeah, I think I can see why, because you're over isn't the limit like 4 or 5 credit cards with Amex, so you're kind of over the limit. So Amex told me I have to cancel one of my credit cards and I'll be approved. I just hit the wrong button. You'll be approved for it. Card I was thinking closing with Amex every day with no fee. Credit card that only has a 7,900 limit so that's fine. So overall, there's a few things here. So first of all, I'm surprised that they said they will approve you because they're not allowed to say that. It's annoying, right? But there are rules. It's basically like steering, I think, you can't deter anyone from applying from a product, and you can't like overly sell them on it either, right? Just generally, if you ever talk to a banker, they kind of just tell you what the card does and say, you have this offer, would you like to apply for it, right? But they really don't tell you you'll get approved. It's very annoying even when you know you're very unlikely to get approved. But so I can't imagine a guaranteed approval there, which is somewhat concerning because we know how sensitive Amex is. So if you just close the card and you turn right around a month later and apply for a new one, that's something that could upset them, or they could do pop-up jail or whatever. So I wouldn't take that as a guarantee. Wouldn't change course for it, but at the same time, you know how they are. Number two thing here is you'd be totally fine. So the thing about the 800 is it's kind of relevant after a certain point in the sevens. I don't know where exactly, but you get past like 750, it stops mattering. You're getting the best pricing we have. And especially if you're talking about a mortgage, so many other things go into your pricing. When I say pricing, I mean the finance, like the interest rate. Right, like what type of property are you buying? Condos are seen as more riskier than single family residence. Why? Because you've got people on both sides of you that we don't know. So even if you're fine, but the other person, I don't know, leaves the stove on, like you're pretty much hit. So it's that risk has to be priced into it. How much money down you put is seen as more or less risky. All that to say, there's so many different pricing factors to go into it beyond just having an 800. The other thing about an 800 is that it's like a tool, in my opinion. So you get a tool, you get a hammer, it looks all new and pristine, but the new and pristine hammer is no good. You want to use the hammer. Using the hammer for its purposes is going to have some dents and bangs on the tool, right? Or if not, it's just useless. And also the 800, where you're going to apply for a new credit card, and that might be an inquiry as well, which will be a momentary ding as well. So all that to say, with an 800, you've got tons of credit history, tons of good approvals and everything. So you're good there. I wouldn't worry about it going down. As far as the history, if you close the card, personal card, well, again, it will show closed, but the history, I believe, stays on your report for like 7 years. So if for whatever reason you're relying on the history, will also be there. All those on-time payments and everything. The business green you talked about, well, it's a business card. It doesn't really report to a personal credit. So again, no big deal there. So I think from a credit perspective, I'd say you're perfectly fine. I close cards on occasion. I closed the Rocket Mortgage card got closed for me. I didn't do anything, but it didn't hurt anything. I'm trying to remember to call and close my Venmo credit card. I just don't need it anymore, and it would bring my limit down. I have total credit limit down. So the only real thing that would really matter instantly is your utilization. But again, you got 400 grand in credit limit right now, and I doubt you're carrying a really big balance. So you should be fine there. My bigger concern, I would say credit, no concern. Bigger concern is, would American Express actually turn around and approve you for it? But if you're not using the card anyways, cancel it, give it a shot. And if they don't, or they pop up jail, you just try again in a little bit. But I'd say you're totally fine. It's my view on it anyways. Redsox Nation, hey RJ, with a highly generous welfare system in America that incentivizes people to not work, when are we going to end the war on work in America? I don't know that we are. It's really interesting. Isn't the war going the opposite way? And the fact that we've got folks demanding, quote, livable wages for people who work at McDonald's and things of that nature. So, I think we're actually going the other way. Like, we want people to work, but we're trying to jack up the salary, which is funny because it ends up costing us. And now, that's why McDonald's and things like that are more expensive, and they give you less, and this, that, and the other. I don't think we're going to get rid of the war on work, because it's just really hard to change anything, considering it's a popularity contest. I mean, this is why your boys had to do everything through executive order, just shove it through, ram it on through, because that's how it goes. So I think very rarely you're going to see anyone try to drastically change anything, because it's a popularity contest. And it's you have to do some stuff for your side, but you don't want to totally upset the other side, because you still need some of their votes as well. So I don't know that we're going to go do anything of the sort to make people. I also think the people don't want to work thing is a little bit overblown. I think it's more so people don't want to do what it takes to live the way they want, not that they don't want to go to work, and they just kind of think, well, I'm doing a job, and this job should come with this salary regardless of what the job is. That's probably the stuff I think we should go after. We should go after the whining. Like, stop whining. The job is the job. You agreed to do the job for the price. Just do it. That's the part I think that annoys me more. But as far as from the government perspective, getting rid of those incentives and everything, I think it would just be way too polarizing for whatever reason. Then they changed what you could redeem like food stamps for, and that upset people. So, which it didn't even seem unreasonable, but I'm not totally dialed into it. So I don't know. We'll wait for you to run our office and get us sorted out. Back on topic here, KC says, you wake up and are married. She's not interested in credit cards or bank account bonuses, but is totally cool letting you open anything under her name. How would you incorporate a player 2 into your game? I mean, if this fate befell me, I woke up one day and there was just someone else in bed, just a horrible fate. Can you imagine having to share a bed? It'd be terrible. But if it happened, I have a friend who does this, and his wife has no interest in it. And so the easy part is signing them up for it. You run into issues when, like, how reasonable are they going to be? Because eventually you're going to have to talk to the bank at some point, and they have zero idea what's going on, and they want zero involvement in it. Like, that's going to be a problem. So he's told me he has a problem when the bank calls, or you have to call the bank, like your account gets locked and you have to go in branch, or, you want to close the account, you have to do it over the phone. Things of that nature end up being really tough. But the opening process, not that bad. Also, phone numbers are an issue, right? Because you want to use their phone number, but they want to have it match the name, so you can't just use a random phone number, like if you had a second phone or something. In the two-factor codes. The other more interesting part would be, like, I'm a believer that you keep money separate. Yeah, you'd have to be so ridiculously hot to get on a bank account with me, and even then, I'll settle for a 4. I'm not doing it. So, like, if I'm going to do all this work and I'm a proponent of keeping finances separate, well, then why am I doing all this work to benefit you if I don't get any of it? So maybe the offer would be, I will sign up for these and you can keep the money, but I get all the referral money because I'm the one who's famous and on TV. So I can take your referral link for, I don't know, Chime. I can get you the $100 for Chime. You keep that, but I'm going to take the referral offer and use it. Or maybe we split it. If not, my first counter would be I get all of it, and then I'll counter if we can split it. But I keep things separate. So, like, why would I want to? I say that as if this has ever been a topic of conversation, like a serious topic of conversation for me. But that would be my big thing. But, like, incorporating them, just make sure that you're referring them or you're using their referral, things of that. That's just, I don't know how you get around the times you have to talk to the bank. I think there had to be some sort of agreement of, like, look, I'm putting this much money in your pocket, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to have to pick up the phone. Business is done on the phone. I don't know what to tell you. Now who gets all the points in the divorce? I don't know. Because, I mean, as I answer this question, you can probably see why this has been a non-issue for me. But I would try it. I mean, because, again, if I could double my money, like, that would be insane. I think I'd be fine doing it. It's not that much more work. How are we going to split the money? How unreasonable are you going to be when it comes time to interacting with the bank? Those would be my main concerns. Brother, let's see, Leo here. We were just emailing the other day. Brother RJ, I'm currently at $8,600 in annual fees, 19 cards. All keepers, by the way. Do you know anyone that pays more in annual fees? I sound off down below if you can beat 8,600. Maybe, I don't know, I met him once, but maybe the Sevi Mandy combination. I know they mentioned multiple Platinums, multiple Spires, multiple Bonvoy, whatevers. Maybe them. I mean, he just got approved for the JetBlue card. I think you're somewhat of an anomaly because you have multiple cards from multiple chains, right? It's where most people, even if they're paying a lot in annual fees, it might be a Platinum, then it might be a Delta card, then it might be a Hilton card. And those get expensive, but they're not going, I'm flying American today, and I also have the premium JetBlue card, and then I have the Venture X or whatever. So, every time I talk to this guy, he is on the road. He's not a drunkard anymore. I'm told he may have turned his life around. So we salute you for that. But, I don't know anyone. I'm paying $95 on one card. I'm like, God, this sucks, but I want my travel insurances and things of that nature. A tip of the cap to you, sir. I almost feel like I should bring you on the show and just run through them. I don't have anything to say. Let us know down below if you can beat $8,600. That's almost how much money I make. 10 grand a year from banks and promotions, and, like, you're blowing it all on annual fees. I'm impressed. I had no notes. Nanoparticle, have you ever worn 2 different colored socks before? I'm a beacon of fashion, sir. Do you think I would? No, maybe when I was a baby and it didn't matter, but all my socks should be surprised to know are black. Can I flex? There we go. Feet pictures are extra, but I get them from a company called blacksocks.com, believe it or not. They're from Switzerland. Fancy. So they're just all the same, and then, like, my ones for the gym are just black Nike ones. So I couldn't wear 2 different colors if I tried. And it's been that way for quite some time. Now, years and years ago, I used to, have different shades of, like, tan. Because your socks, if you're putting on a suit, technically, I think your socks are supposed to match to your pants. I think that's how it goes. But So back in the day, I'd have like tan or browns or something, but no, I wouldn't. And I've never been one for like the pattern socks or anything like that. I don't like to have to think too much. I prefer the uniform. You can just grab stuff in the dark if you had to and go. So everything is just black, the same, all the same style of socks. So I don't have to worry about mix and matching when you pull them out of the dryer or anything like that. So no, two different colored socks. I'm not that stylish. Sorry to break it to you, but no. When I take out my laundry, it's like all just black. Again, I have colored dress shirts and ties and things of that nature, but casual clothes, but I wear most of the time, no chance. Matt Clausen, I believe he's Mr. Wells Fargo himself. The only bigger fan than me. Would any credit unions or any other banks possibly jump into a system like PNC and Bank of America running based on relationship? So credit banks, I mean, the top guys know. I mean, Chase just has no need. Bank of America does it, so they're fine. U.S. Bank tried it, and they crashed and burned, so they're out. Citi, I would have thought Citi would be into this. Citi, from what I gleaned from their promotional materials, they tend to, I think, like higher net worth customers. I would have thought they would have, but now Wells Fargo, again, they kind of do, but they've got like a premium Visa Infinite version of the autograph journey, but they don't have anything else. So I think the top four guys are definitely out. I just don't think there's a need to. They get all the money anyways. As far as credit unions, I mean, I think credit unions would be an interesting one, but credit unions aren't really, in my purview, having spent time at one, like competitive or competing. They do interesting things. Like you'll see a credit union or two pop up with like a 5% checking account and things like that. And it won't take that much to trigger that type of earnings. So I think you're probably looking at the mid-sized banks who want to move farther up, like PNC. PNC is, I don't know off the top of my head, but they are a big bank. They're just not like GSID, like globally too big to fail. You know, I forget the acronym, but they're not like too big to fail. But if they want to move up, then yeah, so I could see someone like a Huntington or a Fifth. The Fifth Third probably wouldn't because their card's only 1.67. I guess that's still more than 1.5, which is what the other ones are at. So I think it'd have to be somebody like that. I don't think credit unions would really do it. I don't think credit unions are built to do it. Most credit union products, because most credit unions are supposed to offer better price, and we assume, I haven't priced them all out, right? But like when you're getting an auto loan, no one says, hey, go see what Wells Fargo's offering. They say, go to your local credit union, see what they're offering on auto finance, and comp that against what the dealer's offering. They're supposed to not be as aggressive as the other ones. And so I don't think that would work. I don't think they're making enough in fees potentially and things like that. The other big guys doing it, they've all got their fee income is likely significantly higher than a credit union to begin with. So I think you're really looking at the mid-range folks who want to punch farther upstream. So PNC is a good one. I think Fifth Third, Huntington, KeyBank, maybe. I mean, I'm talking about ones in my region that I know off the top of my head. But they would have to have an almost national presence, though. So I guess I would. PNC, I think, does. But yeah, I would say you almost need a national. You don't want to. Yeah, I think you would need to be still trying to push towards national, be a mid-range, trying to move farther up. But I don't think it'd be a credit union. I'd like to see Fifth Third or KeyBank do it because they have better user interface. Even Huntington, get anyone but PNC. Like, God, why did it have to be PNC? Interface sucks so bad. Good question. I've often wondered why more people don't do it. I'm sure there's a reason, but I think the reason is they don't really have to do it. People just tend to go to the bank next to them and they stay there forever. So I hope so. Nick, with inflation continuously pushing prices up, do you think we'll ever see credit card issuers raise their base reward rates to match, for example, seeing 1.5 move to 2? No chance. I think part of the inflation and price rises is companies and institutions simply pushing off their price increases they have to bite onto the consumer. And, I think that still goes for financial institutions. We don't really see it as much, because they're selling stuff. It's not like the same as you go to the grocery store, right? But if this price of, something is going up, I would imagine the cost for a bank goes up. We've seen Visa and MasterCard want significantly more of a cut of the fee, so we might see interest rates go up. That's kind of how a bank would get more money. You'd see fee income go up. Well, actually, when we've seen like Wells Fargo change how to keep their checking account free, they moved it up from like a $500 direct deposit or $500 minimum to like $1,500, for example. We've seen Chase say, hey, we're not going to make it as easy for you to cash out reward points anymore. things like that. So we see it in different ways, but because of that, I would imagine the bank's costs are still going up as well. They're still going to have to pay new employees more, not existing employees, but new employees. They're going to still have to pay more for things, more materials that they're using. So I don't think so. Plus, we also know, for whatever reason, it breaks after 2%. Right, for the most part, if you were doing 2% everything, it works, but anything after that, it really breaks. And we know after 5% has to be capped or it starts to break. 3% you can do on some categories, but even then, we're still seeing Citi sending out the survey about the Shroud of Premier and saying, hey, we might be reducing some of these categories a little bit. So, I think it's I think for whatever reason it breaks. I mean, SoFi couldn't maintain 2.2%. They had to ration it back down, or they were charging a fee for it. And the Robinhood Gold is out there still, but we still assume they're kind of in like fintech space where like they don't have to make a ton of money yet. I mean, they've been around for quite some time. U.S. Bank failed. Bank of America readjusted theirs. PNC's coming out. I think theirs will last for a while, but just to readjust it to kind of say, hey, folks, we know your money isn't worth what it was before. No chance. No chance at all. I can't see that happening because, again, they'd want to return that money to shareholders or reinvest it in the company or something like that. Should it happen? Yeah. I mean, it's the one thing about cashback that we do make a big deal about high-end devaluations and that whole thing, but cashback is devalued through inflation, to your exact point. We just can't do anything about it, so we complain, but like not as loudly as when Hyatt does it. But I don't think we're going to see that. I used to think eventually someone would have to push past 2%. The problem is we've seen it and it just hasn't gone. I mean, to get past 2% to get 4% from U.S. Bank, you've got to stake $100,000 in dead money essentially to do it. So it's been proven. In the other ones will allow you to put it in a brokerage account, but you're not going up to 3%. It's $500,000 at PNC to get to 2.7%. And by then, we've got to assume I've got, multiple things. And PNC still seems to be pushing managed services over self-managed, which would probably make up for it at $500,000, I would guess. So, unfortunately, no. Long story long, I don't think so. Two more here. Boomer grad here. AAA is apparently using another method. I don't know what the OT means to basically to check MCC, merchant category code. Received 1% via PayPal payment for Walmart, usually 5% for all purchases. U.S. Bank MCC download still displays groceries. So he's basically asking, is there a workaround? Because AAA used to give 5% for Walmart in person, even though it was a supercenter. I don't know of any workaround. The old workaround for many of them used to be some things, not all these. Like PayPal had I can't remember the name of the feature, but basically you could put a credit card or something in PayPal and pay with PayPal, and then it would, show up as something else. They since got rid of that, likely because the banks didn't like not knowing where the payment was coming from. It's just a security risk and they don't need to deal with it. So as far as masking MCC code, no, I don't. I mean, there's in the app, sometimes you can change the category manually, but that doesn't change the MCC code. I think that just changes how it hits your budget tracker or something. I don't think there's a way to actually change it like that. I don't know a way around it by any means. I think because the MCC code is picked by the merchant when they set up their payment processing. And even then, as we've learned, AAA or Community Bank, they have a way to take it and translate it on their end to what they want it to code as. Because we have seen some cards really messed up. Like when the Wells Fargo Tune came out, there was issues with how it was coding MCCs. And even though everyone else was coding it one way, they were just translating it on the back end to something entirely different, probably wrong. So no, I don't know another way. If you want the 5% Walmart, you're probably looking at having to get the Walmart credit card, which isn't a bad credit card if you've got Walmart Plus and you hit Walmart pretty frequently. It's not a bad option, but I don't know another way, sadly. So, sorry. Technically good, which is not something you can say about the show, but we'll answer your question. Are there any premium travel cards that still offer lounge access for your player 2? No, I guess you're going to have to break up. Kind of, sort of. So, I think Priority Pass, you can still sometimes get a Priority Pass Select. You can get yourself and 2 other people in there on some of them, not all of them. You have to look at the Priority Pass membership. I don't remember off the top of my head. What I think you care more about is the actual lounge, like a Delta or United. I think not AAA, American Airlines, AA, The executive card, you can still bring in a guest, I want to say, with that one, which either will be super helpful to you or not helpful at all if you don't fly American. But Centurion, most definitely not, or you got to spend 75 grand and then you can do it. Chase, Sapphire lounges, no. Venture X, not in their lounges, but in their priority pass, I believe you can. United, I think it's just you as well, because they've all kind of figured out, like, hey, even though most people don't travel alone unless it's for work, you're either gonna have to buy a product or go or pay the fee to get in. I mean, I think they're still unreasonable with the amount they charge for kids. I don't know, the age cutoff for kids is like surprisingly low, because they're going to get their money's worth out of it. So I don't know. I think American Airlines may be the executive card, but outside of that, and not counting priority pass, just dedicated lounges, Delta might let you use one of your lounge passes on a guest, because they have like 6 visits a year or whatever it is for like the platinum. Maybe, but that's still not quite what you're asking. You just want to bring a buddy or a player or two. And I think that's when the overcrowding started to get really, really bad. That's one of the things they scale back. I think of either, hey, you're going to have to, because you used to be able to pay more for it. I think Delta you could pay. I think they got rid of that. I could be wrong. So you're just limited. Yes, they really want you to have a card. Even kids now, which is, I think, pretty messed up, because again, how are you going to get a kid in there? They're charging way too much for what you get, in my opinion. But anyways, if you Leo sound, if you made it this long, you might have a card that works with your $8,600 in annual fee. So let our guy know what you're using to get into the lounge with all your mates. But anyways, dude, mates is in friends, not player two. I don't know why I said it like that. But anyways, that has been the Q&A for this month. So of course, thank you so much for writing in. If you found it interesting or liked it, consider dropping me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel, as we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, which is, of course, our blog. Link down below for you and on the channel homepage, where there we post the latest news stories, have plenty of bank promotions, and some credit card offers. I don't know what the lounge situation is like, but we got some points for you. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you very soon in the next one.